Hey all, it's Alex here today. So today I'll be talking about being yourself and how a little bit about how to do it, and then why it is probably more important than you think. So first off, you'll attract the right people and the right jobs and the right connections. If you keep holding on to people that are just who you can be around, who you currently fill time with. If it's difficult to kind of shed some of the wrong people, or if you just have had trouble finding the right people and you're just doing what you can to get by, then it's understandable. It's pretty normal for people to do that. But by filling your time with that, you're not leaving yourself open for the right people to come. And I've come across many people who, after they shed some of the wrong types of people and have openings, they seem to gradually just have the right people gravitate towards them who are better aligned to where they are in their life. By being yourself, you attract a lot more of the right people because of what you do, how you act, what you say, how you say it, things like that. You end up attracting similar-minded people. They notice you more. You're putting yourself out there. Some of the things you do will be different. There's just different things about you, and it tends to synchronize with people really well. They pick up on that. Jobs work that way as well. If you are yourself, if you don't compromise, then you wouldn't accept a job just when you notice there's certain things that you don't like about it. There's tons of jobs out there that are pretty corrupt. A lot of common ones, especially on like the lower tiers, minimum wage, retail, fast food. A lot of those are usually really bad jobs to have. And there's a lot of corruption going on down there. And if you leave right away when you say, no, this is not for me, then you will find a job that is appropriate. And there are plenty of good jobs out there, but you wouldn't know if you're settling for that. In fact, people who stay in those jobs tend to look for more jobs of that same type if that's what they're used to or that's what they leave, even if it's not simply because they think they have an easy end from the experience that they have. And they tend to just be stuck in that groove for a while. So really saying no, setting standards, it helps you find the right connections, the right people, and that just opens the door for many other things. Even having a better job and a better with better coworkers and stuff just helps you find better people that way as well. By setting standards for who you hang out with, if you are only hanging out with the right people, usually they also are more likely to be hanging out with the right people, and you find more of the right people through them, to where you end up being just feeling better, being around better people, being around more like-minded people, feeling more fulfilled in your life, etc. So that's point number one, is being yourself helps you attract the right people and the right connections. All right. Number two is you'd be happier. I've kind of touched on that a little bit as like a byproduct of the first points, but being happier is more about you would do more of the things you want by being yourself instead of having more of like a charade or facade of some type. You're more likely to say, you know what, I actually am gonna pick up this hobby, whether it be, maybe you want a longboard, maybe you want to jump on a trampoline, you want to go to Sky Zone, even if you don't have friends that want to go. If you just go and do it, then you kind of you'll be happier, because I know plenty of people who have had things on their mind for months, even years, things that they want to do that they haven't done, that they think about it. I've asked them how often they think about it, and it's like once a week in a lot of cases. Sometimes not as much, but it just kind of you have this overshadow in your life. You have like this, a little bit of a dingy cloud above you all the time of not achieving your dreams. And what's interesting is that if you do that, it'll kind of remove a whole layer of that, and you'll feel like you've achieved more of your dream, even if you haven't necessarily achieved the typical dream, or what a lot of people call the American dream, a house, car, computer, and family. So by doing that, you'll have a happier life, and you may actually discover that you want to do that it helps you feel more fulfilled in general, and that you want to do it on the weekends or something like that. You may encounter other people that want to do the same thing or enjoy doing it, and or it may open the door for other things that you like. It may get you to really feel like you want to chase something else that's pretty nice, or just give you a different experience. You'd be surprised how different your life will feel if you just start longboarding like a couple days a week for a couple hours, and just really get used to the roads around you, things like that, or just any other hobby that you pick up, knowing the parks around you if you want to go play if there's a park around you that has a tennis court or something, then that can feel pretty different just doing that a lot. So just try some of that, see how it feels to really be yourself. And you know what? The worst thing that can happen is you spend a few hours, you have fun doing something you want to do, and then it turns out I'm wrong. Fine, go ahead, downvote the video. But give it a shot. Give it a shot and find out. For me. Well, I guess you don't owe me anything, but I guess please. All right, I'll say please. Hopefully that does it for you. So number 3 would be confidence. So this, it's a bit of an abstract concept overall. Just be yourself. But the reason why confidence is crazy powerful. Usually, people know what to do. People have the ability to do just about anything a typical person does. Even someone with below average IQ usually has the ability to do almost anything that the typical person can do. The difference is how they go about it, how they plan, if they plan, things like that. And confidence has a lot to do with it. When you're confident in what you can do, then you actually go and do it because you're like, okay, I can do that. And you don't feel as overwhelmed by it if you're like, oh yeah, I could do that, no problem. And you go out and you do it, you get it done. So confidence is huge. You feel better. A lot of your anxiety goes away when you have confidence. When you're yourself, it just adds quite a bit of confidence when you're confident, when you're yourself, it adds quite a bit of confidence to that because you're confident in your own skin. You feel better. You're deciding this is who I'm going to be, and it's more so of not so much this is who I'm going to be, and like there's nothing wrong with it. It's more along the lines of this is who I'm going to be, and even if people don't like it, I'm going to be this anyway. And that's actually where it comes from. So people seem to get the wrong idea about confidence being and being yourself, about being that like you're okay with it. It doesn't start that way. You're going to have intrusive thoughts. It's pretty normal for just about everybody. Where the confidence comes in really is that you don't become okay with it by like really having the thoughts that you're okay with it. You become actually okay with it, even if your thoughts are still a little bit like oh yeah, I'm weird, quirky, I'm a mess, I'm whatever. So you may still not feel like you're okay, normal, whatever the case may be, but you'll decide that you're going to be that anyway. And so that's where you'll be like, where you'll feel and think that like, oh, it's okay, even if like you wouldn't necessarily word it that way. So other ways that the confidence really helps is that if you have confidence, like, oh, I'm going to go like jump on a trampoline, etc., then it's a different feeling if you actually get to truly enjoy it instead of worrying about what others think. And also it helps propel more of the being yourself. People usually like other people with confidence because when you have confidence, you have people pick up on you being yourself. They pick up on the confidence. They pick up on the passion. Also, when you're confident, usually it's kind of, people feel like what they see is what they get, and you're also easier to read, and so it's easier for people to buy into who you are and to want to be around you because of that. It's not. You come off as not as threatening to strangers. There's just a lot of aspects to it. If you go in for a job, confidence makes it easier for them to imagine what it's like having you in the job, and so you're more likely to be hired. I was a hiring manager for many years, so I know a lot of it is imagining the person being in the position. Can you imagine them being in this position? If someone is pretty reserved and I can't get a good read on them, then a lot of times the position does go to someone who I can get a better read on, because I don't know what the other person may be hiding. I'd rather hire someone who has a reason why I shouldn't hire them than someone who has no reason, but I also like just don't know, like I can tell that I'm missing a lot of aspects of their personality and their life and things like that. So those are 3 key reasons. So as far as trying to actually be yourself, I think the best thing is to kind of feel out who you are and start practicing it just alone, in your room, in your home, wherever, just alone, and decide who you are and just kind of feel like you are that person, just on your own in an enclosed space, and you're not really going to do anything different or act real different probably, but the idea is that you get used to that feeling, and it should slowly bleed out into other areas when you're more like with friends, family, things like that, and it should help. I'll probably make another video on that some other time, or maybe later this week, to help everyone out a little bit better and give them more specifics. But I'd say that that could be a good starting point that I think just about anybody could do. So thanks for your time and have a good night, all.